The Jazz Cruise was created many years ago on a Norwegian cruise lines. There was a jazz cruise. It went on for years. They had some of the greatest jazz performers in the world. They had Joe Williams, Mel Torme, the Count Basie Orchestra. It was never a full ship charter. It was approximately 50% of a ship, but it was the SS Norway, which is the old SS France, which was a large ship. And during that time, travel agents sold cabins into the program. There was a woman in St. Louis who sold lots of cabins, 400 cabins out of the 700 cabins, yes. And she was then consulted by them as to line up itineraries, things like that. In 1999, she was informed that the cruise would no longer take place, that NCL was actually pulling the program. She was very distraught, and she called me, and she said that she wanted to be the first person in the world to charter a whole ship for a jazz cruise. And I knew that she was 70 years old at the time. So I went and I met with her. I said, look, let's have lunch before. So I sat down across the table from this woman, 70-year-old woman that I've known, who wanted to charter a whole ship for a jazz cruise, which had never been done. And I looked her right in the eye. I said, Mom, do you really know what you're talking about here? And that's how we began. And we went to Holland America Line, and we got the smallest ship they had, which was 1,245 passengers. We took out a mimeograph machine, literally a mimeograph machine. We made a flyer, sent it out to her mailing list. Within 90 days, the cruise was sold out. So the next year, just like Jaws, we went and we got a bigger boat, and we've been doing cruises ever since. This is our 31st full ship charter. We are the largest music charter company in the world. If you add up all of the other jazz charters that have ever been done and multiply it by 4, we've done more. So we are really proud of it. What makes the Jazz Cruise really special is a composite of things. First of all, having it as a full ship charter is absolutely critical. Most music cruises are not full ship charters. You are part of another cruise. They are on your cruise, you're on their cruise. When it's a full ship charter, you control the entire environment. We control the itinerary. The music that we play within the public areas is our music. What's on television is our choice. The meal times, the shows, we occupy every single venue. If it's not a full ship charter, you share the venues with the other guests, and that really does not work very well. Secondly, we have terrific artists. Every year, we try to get the best in the world. Third, we take great care and expense to present the music in its best possible form. This is not Carnegie Hall. It is a cruise ship, and we are using some lounges as our venues. But we believe that our sound is absolutely terrific. And fourth, and it's the least publicized, there is nothing greater than walking on a cruise ship and knowing that there are 1,800 people who share the same passion and the same interest from all walks of life. This cruise has people from 37 different states and 21 different countries. We have over 300 people from across the pond on this cruise. And yet, they all get together for the music and the friendships that they make. We have so many people who see each other once a year on the Jazz Cruise, just like the movie Same Time Next Year. That's what it feels like. Or music camp, going to camp once a year. And that's the feel. They feel like they're home, and we try to make them feel that way. We also are very responsive to their interests. Okay. Last year, the years before, they didn't like the chairs that we use for the various venues. We went out and we bought brand new cushion chairs. Everyone is now thrilled. We want them to enjoy this experience. So it's almost like we are doing this together, okay? And we also know the people. When our company does a cruise, the people that actually book the cruise are here on the ship. It isn't a third-party travel agent. It is people that you know and people that have sailed on the cruise who actually know what goes on here. So we try to foster that. So really, those are the 4 reasons. Well, first of all, we get rid of everything that the cruise ship normally does. None of the performers who are typically on the cruise perform on our cruise. There's a whole band, a piano bar guy, disc jockey, production people. They do nothing this week. It is all our music. We then create a program using areas of the ship that are not typically used for music, and we turn them into venues. Yeah. Then every couple of hours, with a 30-minute intermission, we have a brand new set go in there. And that goes on from the time early in the morning until late at night. We have a gospel hour. We have keyboard capers, where we have a one piano player play after each other. We have a passenger jam. We also have some non-music events. We have Conversation with the Stars. We have some one-on-one interviews. We have every morning, Todd Barkin shows amazing jazz videos and actually talks about jazz, the history of jazz. We just take that theme and it permeates everything that we do the entire week. There's nothing that happens on our cruise that happens on a regular cruise, and there's nothing that happens on a regular cruise that happens on our cruise. I think the face of our jazz cruise customer reflects jazz. Jazz is probably the most universally accepted, enjoyed music form. It's everywhere. And we have always had a very strong mix of black, white, gender, nationality, ethnicity. It has been that way from the beginning. The biggest change in our cruise from the time we started until now is the international component. We have people literally from all over the world at our cruises. I love listening to the guests. We have some amazingly knowledgeable guests, particularly on the jazz cruise. The jazz cruise folks know their music. They do not need to be explained anything. In fact, Houston Person, one of our total favorites, does not like to be announced, starts when he wants to start, and ends when he wants to end, and doesn't tell people what he's playing. And I asked him why once, and he says, these people know the music, I don't have to tell them what I'm playing. So one evening, I was up in the Ocean Bar talking to Freddie Cole, one of my personal favorite folks, and a guy comes up to him and he's talking to Freddie about, I like this album of yours, but that cut, and you should use that drummer, and being unbelievably detailed, as if he knows everything in the world about Freddie Cole. And he then stops and pauses, and then he says to Freddie, do you come from a musical family? So I turned to Freddie, I said, this one's yours. And he said, yeah, there's a couple of singers in our family.